All right, good afternoon. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. A lot out there in terms of 3-7 crossovers. We saw it this morning and talked about what would be the most bullish scenario for the market the rest of the day. And that would basically be to have a little bit of sell come in, and that came in as I was on video. And then for the market to rally back to a slightly new high and then just churn here the rest of the day. And that's what we're seeing, and it's a rather bullish scenario, for stocks. Again, there's definitely news risk out there, and we could talk about all that till we're blue in the face. But we do have some trade signals on the board, and so let's go trade them. There are 4 signals on the board, and I'm going to trade 2 of them because I do believe that all 4 are about the same trade. They're all in the tech space: Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Alibaba. And when I go through the sorting methods here on the here from the front page, these sorting methods here, we get to Apple and Facebook as the top 2. And so going to go out and trade those. Now, I filled in some of the data here on the spreadsheet. You can see the calls that I'm going to purchase here. So let's go out and let's start with Apple and go get into these options. Now, you're going to notice I'm going to do the September monthlies, which is just a little bit of a change from the date time periods that we've been running. It's a little shorter term, and this is partly because they're priced decently, and when we get out another week or two, the spreads just start to increase a little too much, but they're still in some good risk-reward scenarios here. So we're playing with gains, gonna run with it, a little more aggressive, but let's go have at it, and gonna go buy 6 contracts here of the 20th of September 210 calls. All right, and boom, that should be just over 3,000 in it. 525 is my entry price. I just did market order like normal for me, and boom, that is off. So we're into Apple. Price of the stock here is 208.82. And the entry price is $325. All right. So that puts us, let's see here. $525. My apologies. Let me make sure that went out correctly on the alert. Yeah, it went out correctly on the alert. All right, good deal. So 525, 6 contracts, puts just over 3,000 into the trade there for Apple. And so we are off and rolling. Okay. All right, let's go do some Microsoft here. Now, Microsoft, I'm going to go after the 138 calls, the same expiration, the 20th of September. Okay, and gonna go do the 138 calls here, and going to do 10 contracts of these, and let's go do it. We'll do 10. Just gonna do a market order, so should be somewhere around 320. Yep, 320 is my fill price there on them. 10 contracts here on the 20th of September, 138 calls. And stock price is 138.28. Okay, just verifying the alerts are out. All right, and I'm getting the thumbs up here. So 320 was the entry there. And yeah, about 3,200 here into the trade. So into Apple, into Microsoft, you can see our stock exit level, 203.79, 135.45, and then our profit levels there and the auto exit dates for them. Now, we do have Labor Day here on Monday in the U.S., so markets will be closed. So that does kind of shift back the auto exit date just a little bit. And yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. So off and rolling. We do have enough cash to go get into another position. Would be slightly smaller position, but we do have that ability. I am going to hold off there with it, just because I got a little bit more aggressive with Microsoft and Apple. And the new triggers, Facebook, Baba, they're both about the same thing. I thought we might have a trigger on AT&T, and if we had, I would have allocated a little differently and done 3 positions, but for as much as I like AT&T, didn't get a trigger on that. And the reason behind no trigger on that is the chance of hitting 2 average true ranges is fairly light, so just wasn't strong enough there for it. But we have crossovers with IBM, with Honeywell, with Intel, with Triple M, Micron, Vulcan Materials. But let's go take a look at the 2 we just jumped into. Microsoft. We've been here before with Microsoft. I mean, we got a bullish signal on this 3-7 crossover, on this 3-7 crossover, and we are now getting a bullish signal on this 3-7 crossover. So would not be very nice to see it finally break out. The wedge action is still in play here for it, but again, this is one that has that 3-7 crossover action, and looking to play that. You can also see we're getting a fresh move from below the Stoke 39.1 or below 50 on the Stoke 39.1 to above 50 on the Stoke 39.1, and so very nice price action there. And then Apple. We are getting, some bullish price action. Now, Apple opened up here. It's been sitting here all day. This is an interesting one. The options are a little bit pricey here for Apple, and one of the reasons they are is they have a September 10th event. And that will not be next week, but the week after, and I believe it's on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, or Tuesday. I believe Saturday is the 7th, 8th is Sunday, 9th is Monday. Okay, 10th is Tuesday. So Tuesday, the 10th of September, they will be having their next event to unveil their next iPhone and some of the other products that they're looking to launch. So it tends to be a pretty big day for them. We can see strong run-ups. We have seen strong run-ups before on Apple into these types of product launches. We've also seen sell-offs into the product launches. So, this entry has nothing to do with it. It's just a factor that will be involved, as we're into the trade. Would be great to see a nice little run-up here, on Apple with the event. So, I'll keep my fingers crossed and see if we can get it. It's very interesting being on the side where I'm not making the trade decisions. I'm following the data, and ultimately I'm choosing the option, and within certain guidelines and allocations, and I'm hitting the buttons. But having things fairly automated, it's not like I can go and look at Apple and say, well, we have this event and all that, so it means blah blah. No, none of that has anything to do with how the challenge operates and the algorithm operates. As is. Okay. So into Microsoft, into Apple. Now, the 2 that are also signaling that I didn't go trade are Alibaba, and you'll notice very similar chart. This one here, very, very similar chart to kind of a Microsoft, only with a little bit of a deeper sell here with it, as most certainly more China exposure. This is one that has a nice little kind of head and shoulders pattern forming on it. Could get some sort of breakout, but in a nice position. And then Facebook, which I was kind of surprised triggered, because you see the 39.1 stochastics. It's down here below 20. So I didn't expect it to trigger. I thought, okay, consolidation risk probably going to be a little too high, but it triggered. And, it's one where the options aren't bad. and nothing against it. It's just when went through the sorting methods, both Microsoft and Apple, were better than both Facebook and Alibaba. So, it doesn't mean that, one's going up, one's going down. In fact, they're probably all going to go the same direction. Having all four wouldn't make any real sense. That would just be extra commissions, and not really worth it there. Okay. Alrighty. We see 3.7 crossovers in American Airlines. We see them in Caterpillar. We see them in Delta. We see them, just all over the place. In fact, let's see. I'll pull up for just the challenge watch list how many 3.7 crossovers there are, because there are a lot here. 21. 21. One of them's the SPY, so 20. That's a ton. That is a ton. And Triple D no longer on this list, so but we see FedEx and we see Triple M and IBM and Bank of America and JP Morgan, and it is a full list of 3.7 crossovers here today. Now, a lot of these stocks, like the FedExes of the world, like the Honeywells of the world, they're coming off of recent lows, right? So new lows formed. We're not going to get a bullish signal on that. But, if you're looking to play bullish on Caterpillar with the challenge, right, this is one where this crossover could set up very nicely for the next challenge. As, let's say we get a little run up here, then it pulls on back, gives a little bit of a lower or higher low, and then another 3.7 crossover. We could easily see that trigger come, mid to end September. And, whether it be FedEx, Caterpillar, Triple M, Honeywell, any of these, this goes a long way into, giving potential for it to trigger, here in the middle of next month, later part of next month, and, as the next challenge date, comes upon us. All right. Market vibe here today. We do see a shift. We do see a shift in it. We see it shifting back to bullish. And the market vibe has had several whipsaws in it here of late, which is not normal for it. It does not typically have many whipsaws. But, with some of the way the news has come over the last week, we have seen some whipsaws. And you can see today, 431 stocks trading above the 7-day moving average. When we see it move, the number of stocks in 2 days from, below the 7 to above the 7, when we see one that is of this magnitude, of this dynamic, it is very bullish. And that is one of the reasons why we're seeing the bullish percent index move. Bulls don't have control of everything. Some of the performance ratios are still out of their favor. But you can see even the number of stocks trading above the 20-day moving average in the S&P, it's pulled all the way up to what? 67%. That's a big move here for it, and very strong move. So we see very positive price action for the bulls, grabbing control of even some of the volumetric elements that are in the market vibe. Bullish percent index is pushing on up. We have not quite had a 6% rally, but did not go and hit a new low there on this recent sell. So in one of those positions here where we could easily see a bullish signal come into this tomorrow or something like that, but it's not there yet. So it puts the market vibe at 3, which is a bull signal, but definitely not a position where the bulls are in charge of of everything that is out there. Okay. Alrighty, so into Microsoft, into Apple. I'm going to run with those here into the close. All the data information here on the spreadsheet for stop dates and price levels and everything else. And we'll update these as we go forward. Thanks for hopping on. Have yourselves a great one, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.